Let's get started now. Welcome to the Rotman Commerce Information Session for Summer Abroad for 2025. We're thrilled that you're able to join us. Please note that this session is recorded, and we hope to be sharing this video with other interested students as well. You'll be receiving a link following this session in a couple of days. Before we start, we wish to acknowledge this land on which the University of Toronto operates. For thousands of years, it has been the traditional land of the Huron-Wendat, the Seneca, and the Mississaugas of the Credit. Today, this meeting place is still the home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. In terms of our agenda, we hope not to go past the 1 hour mark, but I'm going to making a few introductions of who's participating in the session. I will give a brief overview of summer abroad programs. Following that, we'll be describing the Rotman Commerce courses or management courses that we're going to be offering this year. We're very fortunate to have Professor Ann Armstrong, who will be teaching once again our program based in Cape Town, South Africa. And we'll also briefly describe our other course that will be in Seoul, South Korea. We're very fortunate to have Jessie, who is a former student who participated in the South Korea program to talk about her experience. And we also have a video from Leon, who is also another student participant. I will describe what the advantages of taking summer abroad, and my great colleague Wenji will also be talking about other perspectives of advantages of taking summer abroad program. We will then get to the logistics of costs, financial assistance, eligibility, deadlines, and how to apply, and EDIA resources as well. Also want to add that Nina, who is also an advisor at Rotman Commerce, is joining us, and she'll be here for the whole session. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask any of us. This is the time to do it. And Nina, please feel free to just jump in if you want to add anything in terms of Rotman Commerce requirements, prerequisites, etc. So welcome everybody. And again, we're very happy that you have joined us. So yes, I'm Karen, I'm the program manager. Wenji will be presenting with me. Nina, again, is part of the Rotman Commerce staff. Student speakers is Leon and Jessie, and we're fortunate to have Professor Armstrong to join us as well. So just a brief overview of what is summer abroad. U of T is such a huge university and lots of opportunities, and we just want to make sure that you know the distinction of summer abroad programs. It is managed by the Professional and International Programs Office based at Whitworth College at the St. George campus, which is right next door to the Rotman Commerce offices. But it is available to all U of T undergrad students. It's an opportunity for students to take a U of T Arts and Science full year degree course in 3 to 4 weeks during the summer. So this will also obviously involve being abroad, but such as South Africa, which Professor Armstrong will talk about, there's also some involvement of doing some work beforehand and after as well remotely. So credits can be counted towards your degree and breadth requirements. So if you're a Rotman Commerce student, this will definitely apply to your program requirements. But we do advise that you do speak with the Rotman Commerce office just to make sure that the credit that you're after to fulfill your requirements is indeed confirmed. We have been around for a long, long time, since 1972, since our first Siena program. In fact, we are still offering our program in Siena. And now we offer 30 courses in 15 destinations. Most of the courses have no prereqs, but for Rotman Commerce, of course, there may be some exceptions in terms of your background as well as the courses that you have taken. I'll get to that in a couple of minutes as well. So most of our courses are taught by U of T faculty. In the case of our two management courses, they are taught by U of T faculty. You also have access to on-site non-academic support. So we don't just leave you alone. We want to make sure that you're well supported. So through our office, there are resources through Safety Abroad, Center for International Experience. We have Wenji, who's also our EDIA coordinator. But in addition to that, on site, we also have support through South Africa as well, support based in South Korea. So we don't leave you alone, and we want to make sure that you're well supported while you're abroad and preparing for your trip as well. You work closely with your professor and your colleagues. This is an amazing experience, a very unique experience to really know your fellow classmates, but to also know your professors, researchers, groups that you'll be meeting in your various programs. So it's a very unique opportunity on the undergraduate level to gain very practical experience. And through field trips, South Korea has different field trips. South Africa has very interesting projects that you'll hear about in a couple of minutes. It really complements the course. So our programs are really built and curated by our professors and our partner organizations. We want to make sure that you really have this unique experience and integrated experience while you're there. And in addition to our support, we also have pre-departure orientations, which are mandatory, as well as Safety Abroad resources. And we create, very sort of extensive list of resources for you to prepare for your trip. Next, very briefly, what is the difference between summer abroad and exchange programs? I won't get into the nitty-gritty about this, but there is some confusion about that. You do earn credits for both opportunities. However, the summer abroad programs are a bit more of a seamless process. Once you complete your program and your credit, it is automatically added to your transcript as well as Quarkus and all your records. So there's no transfer credits that are involved. The length is a bit different as well. As I mentioned, it's 3 to 4 weeks versus exchanges. It could be 1 or 2 full semesters. There's a cohort of U of T students varying in size. So the majority of your group will be fellow U of T students versus in exchange, you are exposed to different students in the host institution. Most of our courses are taught in English, and in exchanges, some courses are taught in English, others are taught in host countries' languages. The courses are designed specifically for the location and include local field trips. So as I mentioned, they're curated by our professors, and it's a bit different with exchanges because it's not formatted that way. And as I mentioned, we have on-site staff that we hire that are based on that are living abroad and are in charge of making sure that students are well supported. And the support is usually from local host institutions for exchange programs. And the benefits of taking summer abroad programs, your locations become a living textbook. You become a global citizen. And this is very important, especially nowadays, to be really exposed to different cultures, to really show appreciation and respect and of different cultures, and to also know how to work together as well as a group. So you expand your worldview and understand cultural differences. You boost your self-confidence. One of the great advantages of my job is really seeing the transformation of students, of going through this type of experience, and they don't really realize it, but their confidence really does shoot up in terms of getting more independence, strengthening adaptability, communication, and team building skills. These are skills that are so transferable to any kind of job that you want in the future or research that you choose to partake. So this type of experience, especially on the undergraduate level, is very, very crucial, especially nowadays. And you create lifelong friendships. Believe me, sometimes everyone's shy during that first day. By the end of the program, you do create and maintain lifelong friendships. And another great thing about having this job is actually seeing that at the end as well. It's really great to see. And I'm going to pass the baton to Wenji, who will be talking more about the Rotman Commerce courses that we're going to be offering.
Thank you, Karen. Hi, everyone. My name is Wenje, and I am the program coordinator for the South Africa program and the South Korea program. So yes, where can you take a Rotman Commerce with the summer abroad in 2025? We have two different options, as we mentioned. MGT 396 in South Africa from May the 7th to May the 26th. And MGT 395 in South Korea runs from June 26th to July 25th. So some important notes for Rotman's commerce students. These courses do count towards the equivalent of an RSM course towards your degree and program requirement. But please know that if you choose to credit and credit your course, then it cannot count towards your program requirement, including the 8.0 RSM requirement. But if you choose to credit and credit the course, it still counts applied towards the focus, your program requirement, the 20.0 credit requirement for your degree. And then if you did not choose to credit and credit the course, they apply towards the focus in finance, which is requirement 2, and also the focus in international business, which is also requirement 2. If you have any question about the academic eligibility, please make sure to ask during the Q&A so that Nina can help answer your questions, or you can leave a message in the chat so we can help with you. Next page, please. So for the MGT 396 course in South Africa, it was led by our amazing Professor Anne Armstrong, who has a long connection with the Rotman School of Management and also the Summer Abroad Office. So this program is introduced since 2015, and her U of T students have partnered with Reciprocity in Cape Town, South Africa, to work with the township micro enterprises there. And do you want to speak a little bit about it?
Yeah, thank you very much. I always find it unnerving to see pictures because I think, oh, I don't look like that anymore. So welcome to all of you. I gather that Dr. Kwan can't be on the call today, but I just wanted to say at one point that I've had many students in the South Africa program who have also taken the Korea program. And they say great things about the Korea program. I know Dr. Kwan a little bit, and I have had many good conversations about our approaches. The courses are quite different, not just because of content for obvious reasons or because of location, but certainly every student I know who's done both has said positive things about both. So I'm not here at the moment, though, to sell Dr. Kwan's course because I have to put my oar in for the South Africa course. Yet, as Wendy said, it's 10 years. And what makes, I think, this course special is that it's very much field-based. There are traditional assignments, but the key component, and this is the component that I'm going to talk about, is the consulting project. When you get there, or in fact, before you get there, you will meet your micro entrepreneurs virtually. And Wenza mentioned Reciprocity. They are very well connected to the informal economy through the townships, and they will find entrepreneurs for us to support. It's also important to remember that many of our entrepreneurs are basically their entire lives and livelihood come from their work. So we are working with people who are very much interested in learning and becoming better. But ultimately, I think it's fair to say that we, students, faculty, our consulting colleagues learn a lot more. But when you're working with real people with real consequences, it's very different than a traditional case class. And you're, to use a word that I've heard several times on the call, you're very well supported. Each team of 4, as I said, has a micro entrepreneur, also has a cultural navigator. And that term is a little bit odd, but basically that person is there who probably actually is friends with the micro entrepreneur to make sure that you are culturally sensitive and also to help you communicate, not because of a language barrier, English, But you may be saying or doing things that you have no clue are totally inappropriate. And the cultural navigator basically navigates the kind of the space between you and the micro-entrepreneur. But in addition, the two colleagues from Reciprocity, Pierre and Nico, support you in your teams. I'm there as well. And at the end of the experience, you will have worked with your entrepreneur, perhaps developing a business plan. I have no idea. That will be driven entirely by your entrepreneur. Perhaps you've developed some accounting systems. Whatever is needed, we will all make sure that what you hand over and what you've developed is relevant to the micro entrepreneur, and most importantly, immediately implementable. Because it's one thing to say, okay, well, in 5 years from now, you should have a strategy. Well, who cares? We've got issues right now to deal with. So I think you'll find that immediacy of the impact is both very uplifting and actually kind of scary, because people are listening to you for thoughtful advice. And so that, as I said, it's very hands-on. You will see perhaps a part of life that you can't imagine. And certainly if you're in Toronto, our idea of poverty is pretty, as it were, mild compared to what you will see. And we will certainly have some classes at the Graduate School of Business. You will be staying in a former prison. Don't worry, it's not a prison anymore. But you will learn a lot about the realities of life in South Africa. And notwithstanding that Nelson Mandela talked about the Rainbow Nation and all that like good stuff, it's not working out so well now. But your opportunity is to have an impact working with 5 micro entrepreneurs. And they will have been vetted to be ready. They're not just opening the shop now. They have had some development of their business idea. So in short, you are in my opinion, for a pretty splendid learning experience. You will work at the base, the foundation of the pyramid. You will spend time in the townships. You will meet people in the townships. You will build strong relationships with your fellow teammates, but also particularly with your cultural navigator and your micro-entrepreneur. One of the members of the very first class, which I think I saw was 2015. I forget these dates. So 2015, he is, I think, now finishing his PhD in engineering at Cornell. And he is still in touch with his micro-entrepreneur. She has expanded her business to 2 basically crates, kind of that she runs a hairdressing salon in one little space, and then another hairdressing salon a little bit further away. And she has been a great success. And they stay in touch with one another through Facebook. So the opportunities for personal development, learning, friendship, but also making a one-on-one impact is considerable. And usually, and I'll stop chatting in 1 second, usually on the last day when each team gives the presentation, and meanwhile, it's all been vetted. We're not, as I said, asking you to make ridiculous statements about how we need to look at ESG here 5 years from now. No, very practical. And I don't have a problem with ESG, but just something that's out there. You'll find that last day is so uplifting. Lots of hugs, laughter, tears, and then a connection that, as I said, in one case has gone on for 10 years. So I think that's enough, Wednesday. I hope I've given a feeling to you and everyone on the call what a passionate, uplifting, but thoroughly eye-opening experience it will be, because it's a world very different than what I think many of us have experienced.
Yeah, thank you so much, Professor Ann, for sharing these amazing course details. And as mentioned, if anyone in the room has any questions, please feel free to share in the chat. If Professor Ann is staying here, she can answer your question in the chat. And then on top of that, I am just going to forward over to let you know a little bit about the accommodation. Oh, sorry, Karen, can you go back for a while? Yes, so this year we will be accommodating at Breakwater Lounge. Actually, the next page, yes. So it's a large hotel with modern amenities overlooking the ocean. You will be sharing a room with a fellow classmate. So it's a twin room. It's located at the foot of Table Mountain, close to the tourist attractions and hiking trails. And then breakfast is included, but you are responsible for the other meals. The Wi-Fi is included as well. In terms of the location, your formal classes will be placed in the same hotel at the boardroom as well, so it's very convenient. And also, as you can see at the right of the slide, there are excursions that are part of this program, as Anne mentioned. So you're going to have a city tour and orientation, as well as tour to visit the Robin Island, and I believe this is a Cape of Good Hope. So you're also going to have an amazing arriving and farewell group dinners as and mentioned. So lots of good opportunities for you to know about each other and get to know each other outside of the group, and including those micro entrepreneurs as well as the lectures. Next page, please. So we go to the next course on MGT 395 in Seoul, South Korea. And also, as Professor Ann mentioned, this is another amazing course taught by Professor Amy Kwan. Amy Kwan is a professional accountant and part-time lecturer in accounting at University of Toronto Rotman School of Management for several years. And similarly, she had a long history with Rotman and also the Summer Abroad Office as well. I believe this is a 9th or 10th year of the South Korea program as well. So amazing program. Because she's not here today, so I will be presenting her course overview on her behalf. Next page, please. So there's no prerequisite for the course MGT 395 Business Modeling and Global Organizations in South Korea. So, so you have the opportunity to work with students from inside and outside Rotman as well, just similarly to the South Africa one. And then homework is designed to have a balance between half a day of class, but to enjoying the evening and explore South Korea as well. And then this course uses the cornerstone of the business modeling canvas to look at the perspectives of organizations from both evaluating current organizations and forming your own startup using the framework to help guide your ventures. Next page, please. So there are a lot of academic field experiences for this course. So we formally call them field trips. So these field trips are designed to have a balanced framework. There's an educational component to them, but traveling is an important aspect as well in this course. Day trips include the National Assembly, which is right by the Honda River, and given the opportunity to see the sights of South Korea from the water. We do offer overnight field trip for 4 days, 5 days, fortnights across the country. So the huge part of the academic field experience is seeing companies and their functions. Companies have two groups of people who came by for investors and students, so it's very safe and it's very so not everyone can just come by to the field experience. So it's just you as the students and then the investors or the staff there. Next page, please. For the South Korea program, we partner with Ewha Women's University, one of the most prestigious universities. We are going to be part of their co-ed international summer college as part of the opening ceremony. So you might see students from other programs, from other countries, and you get to meet students from all over the world in the dorms. You'll be also paired with a peace buddy who is a local Ewha student during your stay. So you can ask for help, ask for local suggestions from your peace buddy. Next page, please. So other than these two management courses, the Summer Abroad Office also offer a lot of different programs in 2025. As Karen mentioned, we have other programs across the world. We hosted Rotman Commerce students in the past for their even just for degree requirement or breadth requirements. So you can visit our website to see is there any other options that you're interested in. For example, our student representative Jessie, last year she went to France tours, and then she will be talking about her experience in a minute. So on the next page, we have a pre-recorded video from Leon, who just finished his South Korea Seoul management courses in 2023 and Japan course in 2024. Let's play this video. I think I can't hear it. Karen, you might try unmute yourself and then.
And I used to play
It's okay.
in a collegiate
Yeah.
level esports team. So like I mentioned before, I did 2 summers abroad. I did one in South Korea in my first year summer, and I did one in Japan in my second year summer. So I'm gonna get started with talking about the South Korean one. So this is my first year. I didn't really know what I was going to do during the summer. Looked at the summers abroad in South Korea, thought it was incredibly interesting, and because it also counts towards an RSM course for an entire year, so 1 full credit, I thought it was a good opportunity to get a head start for later. So in terms of the course structure for South Ed, we did 3 hours of lecture, and we lecture. You're free to roam around Seoul with your friends. And for South Korea, you learn about the business model canvas. And for that one, there is big components for a group project, which I thoroughly enjoyed because of the fact that you get to work with people outside of, ramen and just one major. You get to talk to people from different perspectives with different majors and different trains of thoughts. And I thought that was incredible working with them. And, because you're also in a different environment, there's so much more, excitement for a group project. In terms of the workload, it's definitely manageable. We were out exploring till the late nights, but we still were all managed to get our work done and get a pretty decent grade in the course. And in terms of field trips, South Korea definitely has a lot of wonderful field trips, in my opinion. Although I did feel like some of them were very physically demanding. So my recommendation is to get yourself a nice pair of running shoes and get ready to do some cardio. In terms of the accommodations in South Korea, we're in Central Seoul, so you have access to a lot of the amazing activities, nightlife near the school. If not, just a train ride away to get to like Gangnam, and yeah, it's really convenient, and you'll have lots of fun with your friends. Whether that be roaming out at night or just traveling and exploring together. So I'm going to move on to Japan. So in terms of Japan, very similar course structure, except for us, we were actually the first cohort to go there. So there's only one section. And again, 3-hour lecture, but afterwards you're free to roam around with your friends. For Japan, there is no group project. I would definitely say Japan was a lot more written heavy than South Korea, so a bit more essay writing. In terms of the workload, again, not that difficult. You're really balancing it between having fun and doing the doing the write up, but it's very achievable to get a really good grade in this course. And yeah, overall workload isn't not that heavy at all. In terms of the field trip, I would definitely say it's not as robust as South Korea. But granted, we were the first group to ever go, but nonetheless, I enjoyed all of our all of our activities together, gain a lot of insight into the Japanese culture, and overall, really wonderful experience. In terms of the accommodations, we stayed in the hotel and we actually had a room all to ourselves. So that was amazing with AC heating and of course the regular room service and whatnot. And for Japan, for us, we actually had meals, complimentary breakfast. Which was amazing. So a lot of us got together and ate and went to school together. In terms of leisure, Keio University and the place we're staying at is not necessarily the same as Seoul, where it's downtown. Tokyo is not downtown by any means. I would say it's a lot more suburban in terms of the vibes and the activities. But again, you are in Tokyo, you're in Japan. Transit's amazing there. It's a 20-minute ride, I believe, to go to central Tokyo, but there's a lot of stuff to do nonetheless nearby with KO and whatnot. So in leisure, there's definitely you're definitely not missing out on anything. We had amazing food, a good nightlife in Japan as well. It was a great experience. And yeah, I guess at the very end, I'll just leave you with a bit of food for thought. How has these two international experiences transformed me, whether that be academically or career-wise? So in terms of academics, I definitely feel like I became a lot more well-rounded as an individual, taking into more perspective. I think that was a key thing. Not just being immersed in a different country with a completely different culture and how things work, but also talking with my peers that are not ramen that came from different majors that have very different trains of thought. I thought that was really refreshing. In terms of careers, it definitely has helped me land, job interviews, internships, offers. It's something incredibly unique, and I think if you're able to talk about it very well, it's something definitely a big asset. And yeah, for any of you who are on the fence, I highly recommend you go and check out these two programs. You can meet some wonderful people, and you get some amazing experiences that a lot of people I went with, I still am in close contact with. So yeah, hopefully you check out either South Korea or Tokyo, or any other summers abroad program. It's definitely something to look forward to.
Yeah, let's thank Leon for sharing his summer abroad experience, and then I will invite Jessie, our another Rotman student participant, to share her experience with her first tours summer abroad last year.
Awesome. Thank you, Wanzi. So yeah, hey guys, I'm Jessie. I'm currently in my third year at Rotman, specializing in management with a focus in data science and marketing. So last summer, so in my second year, I completed the France Tours program, specifically the Culture of Terrain course. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about that and answer any questions you guys might have. So yeah, I'll start off with, as Leon did, why exactly I wanted to go to Tours France. So a little bit different from Leon, I was personally looking for a way to expand my global perspective and very commerce, but figure out how I could upskill in the most international way possible, making sure that I really had all of my ducks in a row. So whether it was like Asia, North America, or Europe, for me, Europe was like the last place that I'd really been curious about and wanted to know more about. So that's why I chose France, and I can also speak a bit of French. And so, as you can see on the slides, here are some of the accommodations and places we went to. So if you're also in the same boat of like, like one, you want to see Europe, or two, you just want to get a more globalized perspective on the entire world and how that can tie back to your career, definitely would consider this program as well as anywhere in Europe that piques that interest. So oh, can you go back a slide? Yes, so as you can see on the left side, we have the accommodations that were offered in the program. Very modern. It was like half dorm, half apartment style. And then in the bottom middle, that was the classroom that was actually taught in. If you go in Europe specifically, I can say that there are a lot of classrooms that look like this. Obviously very beautiful and reminiscent of like Renaissance. And yeah, you can go to the next slide. Okay, and then here are just some of the field trips slash leisure moments of my time in Tours, France. So at the top left, we have again our classroom, which is where we got lectured in every single day. And especially when you're abroad, the learning experience, since you're only taking one course versus during the academic year where you're taking many, it's a lot more focused and therefore can be a lot more relaxed as you can kind of get the vibe from these images. And then, yes, middle image is field trips, or I guess AFE as we call them now, which is also at the middle. Essentially, so the culture of Touraine was visiting Touraine, the city, and in this case was the museum and history of the castles. So you can see that a bit scattered around. And lastly, I'll comment on some of the leisure aspects of it. So, yeah, as Leon mentioned, you're definitely going to meet amazing people there, and not only just at Rotman, but other programs, which is very fun, especially as many of your prereqs are with RC kids. So, it's a good mix. And yeah, I'll just finally touch on the academic aspect of it. So, obviously, it varies from courses. I can speak to my own. So I think generally speaking, for the France courses, it really is like what you put into it, but they're also designed so that you have free time to explore the city, country that you're in. And final takeaway from my entire experience from France tours was definitely a mix of one appreciation for how globalized our world is now. Like I went into it wanting to know more about Europe so I could know more about the global economy in general, and that's definitely exactly what I got out of it. Because in my own opinion, I definitely think there are a lot more similarities than differences when it comes to different, I guess, cultures, and especially in Europe. So, yeah, it helped a lot with figuring out where I wanted to position myself as a student trying to build their career and how exactly I could fit in the scheme of that.
Thank you so much, Jessie. Thank you for sharing your amazing experience in France tours. So next, let's go to the eligibility section. I will throw back to you, Karen.
Thanks very much. Jesse, that was amazing. Thanks for providing that insight of your amazing experience in France. If you have any questions for Jesse or for us, Summer Abroad staff, please jot it down in the Q&A function below. So in terms of eligibility, U of T students must be in good academic standing to apply. So basically, you cannot be on probation. You have to have a minimum of 1.75 CGPA at the time of application, which is now. And first-year students with no final grades who have completed at least one term of study can also apply. So we have to see at least one mark on your transcript for us to sort of gauge and see to assess your application. So check the course descriptions and prerequisites very closely, and this is all on our website. And Lindsay probably mentioned this too, but the syllabus should also be on our website too. So if you want to know the course breakdown, prerequisites, readings, things like that, please check our website for that. U of T students in a professional, faculty, or graduate program, U of T alumni are welcome to apply, although priority is for current U of T undergraduate students. And if you have any friends in North American universities that are interested to take this course, there will be classified as a visiting student, and they're more than welcome to apply as well. Just note that they need a letter of permission from their host institution to be able to transfer the credit. In terms of the application process, applications are open now. So they opened last month, and the deadline to apply, so for South Africa is January 15th. For South Korea is February 3rd. Most of our programs the deadline is February 3rd. The reason why South Africa is a bit earlier is because it is pretty early program. This begins in early May. So we want to get cracking on all the assessments of the applications. So again, if you're interested in the South Africa program, the deadline is January 15th. For the South Korea, France program, tour program, the deadline is February 3rd. So participants are selected based on a set of criteria. It's not first come, first serve. So we look at academic suitability. We look at 2 personal statements based on some questions that we have. And we also have a new recorded online interview component. So if you just follow the prompts, create an account, go through the application, go through 2 of the personal statement questions. Once you submit your application, you will get a prompt to give you more directions on how to complete the online interview section. It's really not, it won't take too much time. It just gives a more holistic way of us to assess the application, and also for you to make a very informed decision and preparation for the program as well. So just as long as that all of this is submitted by February 3rd or January 15th in South Africa's case, that's all that you need to do. Last step is to pay a $210 application fee. It's partially refunded if you're not selected, so you get $100 back if you're not selected. And you have a separate application fee for each program. So say you're interested in South Korea as well as South Africa, just as long as the programs don't overlap in dates, you're more than welcome to apply for them. However, they are both separate applications and separate application fees. Our decisions will be sent pretty early for South Africa. I would like to say mid to late February. For South Korea, probably late February to early March. Admissions for on-site summer abroad programs is conditional, of course, upon the Government of Canada allowing travel outside of Canada, specifically based in these destinations too. So it's conditional upon the government giving us permission for you to actually travel to these destinations. So if we offer you a spot in these programs, that's great. If you accept it, you will have 1 week to confirm your participation by paying a non-refundable $1,000 deposit. That's basically you telling us, I'm in, and we do require this deposit. If you decline an offer, you will not get a refund of your application fee. The only exception is if you apply to 2 programs and accepted to 1 spot. The remaining fees are due in March 2025. The specific date is on our websites for each program. And you have to complete post-admission steps in the Summer Abroad portal, and we take you through those steps afterwards as well. So Wendy, if you could just please describe the program cost very quickly, that'd be great.
Yeah, in terms of program costs, if you go to our website and under programs, and then you select the ones that you're specifically interested in, and into the programs, and then under the subtabs, you can see the cost section, and then you can click the cost, and then it will show the detail, and then also there's the cost tab have a complete breakdown for domestic students and international students. Next page, please. For example, this is the 2025 course for studying in the South Korea program for domestic students. The total is 11,481, and it is a little bit slightly varies for international students. For international student, it's approximately 12,636. Yep, it's quite straightforward on our website. And next page, please. Yeah.
I'll quickly describe the awards. Now that you know how much programs would cost, there are some opportunities for you who are eligible to apply for financial need. Basically, we have awards that are earmarked for each program, and if you're eligible and fit the criteria, you could apply for these awards, and then these award applications are embedded in our program application. So follow the prompts. If you are eligible, we'll ask you a few questions about the eligibility, and you could go ahead and complete the application for awards. You will be considered for all awards that Wordsworth College Summer Abroad office does administer, but that is involved with just 1 application. So you'll be considered for various awards that are open to all domestic U of T students. Should you be selected for an award, the amount will be applied towards the cost of your program. So that will be applied in your invoice through the Summer Abroad portal. And the application is embedded in the program application, as I mentioned. Award criteria is that you have to be a Canadian citizen, permanent resident, or protected person. Current U of T undergraduate student, that's important. You have to complete at least 4.0 U of T credits as of last December 31st. Your minimum CGPA should be at least 2.25. Some awards require a higher academic average, but for you to be eligible for most awards, that is your minimum criteria. And you must have documented financial needs. So in your application, you'll be asked to upload evidence of financial needs, such as your OSAP statement, parents' tax statements, bank loan statements, something that proves that you are indeed in financial need. And we prompt you with this, and we'll ask you for more information as well. So we also have a limited, but we do offer merit-based domestic and international awards as well. And this is also done through our portal. So once you submit your application, there's a separate application for merit-based awards. So you're free to apply for these awards. We receive more applications than funds available, and applicants will be assessed on the overall quality of your application. Basically, if you do have a higher CGPA, the chances of you being eligible for merit-based would be higher. If granted, the value awards will cover only a portion of your costs. And this also goes with our financial aid awards as well. It won't cover all the costs that are needed for the program. By completing the online award application, you will be considered for a number of awards. So you fill out the application after submitting your program application. The award criteria is very similar to financial need, that you have to be a current U of T student, complete at least 4.0 U of T credits, so we have a gauge of what your CGPA is. And your minimum CGPA must be 2.25, however, the higher the better for merit. So we have those opportunities as well that are available for students applying. So in terms of finances, we like to say that you start budgeting now. We do have a information session on how to finance your summer abroad, and this is tomorrow from 2 to 3 p.m. and this is online as well. So if you want to register for this session, please feel free to register. The link is on our website, and even if you can't make it from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, just register anyway. We will send you the link afterwards. So please check out that session. Final payments will be due in April and May, depending on the program. Check with the registrar's office for possible awards and bursaries. So Woodsworth or Victoria College, based on your home college, you may have more travel awards than may be available. So please inquire with your registrar's office. And if you're eligible for OSAP, since this is a summer course, you could also apply for OSAP as well. Just note that you cannot defer the funds because of our earlier deadlines. You'll have to cover the funds first, but students do take advantage of applying for OSAP as well. And through the Center for International Experience, I highly, highly advise that you also look into the IE Plus Awards, which is also available for domestic and international students participating in international programs at U of T. I'm going to pass it over to Wendy now to talk about EDIA.
Yeah, thank you, Karen. I will just quickly go through these slides. So Summer Abroad is committed to supporting all our students in their study abroad experience, and we have launched a webpage of EDIA, so that it's the Equity, Diversity, Inclusion, and Accessibility resources for the diverse groups of student communities. So you can feel free to scan the QR code at the right, or you can go to our website and click the EDI and Accessibility tab to learn more details. So we support our students who are looking for resources to help inform their choice and that consider their lived experiences and identities. So there are targeted resources for various student communities as shown on the screen, so including students with disabilities, first-generation students, women travelers, etc. Next page, please. So on top of that, as you start planning for your summer abroad journey, you may already realize that different countries have different cultures, norms, and political landscapes. including the South Africa one and South Korea one, or even the Japan and France ones. So understanding the cultural nuances of your chosen destination can help you better navigate the local context and embrace the local experiences. So you can scan the QR code, and we encourage you to explore the information on local customs, traditions, and etiquette, as the knowledge will enable you to engage with locals in a respectful and culturally sensitive manner. Next page, please. We also strongly encourage you to reach out to the program coordinator for diversity and inclusion, that is me, if you have any EDIA related inquiries. You can book a virtual advising session with me through our book appointment page on our website. Next page, please. So the Summer Abroad Office works closely with the U of T Accessibility Services Office to ensure resources are made available for students, specifically the ones living with disabilities or with diverse learning needs. So any students who may require disability related accommodations or support for summer abroad courses will need to first register with the Accessibility Services Office, so that an effective accommodation plan can be put in place before you travel abroad. It is critical that students contact the accessibility services as soon as possible and discuss any potential travel or course plans with their accessibility advisor well in advance of finalizing their participation in the program. And please note that the free accessibility services across the free campuses have their respective office. So if you're a UTSG student, you go to UTSG. So I guess for Rotman students, you go to the UTSG one. Next page, please. So the Summer Abroad Inclusion, Diversity, and Excellence Award is a new award that awards undergraduate students who have contributed to the advancement of equity, diversity, and inclusion. And there are 4 awards available for 5,000 Canadian dollars each and can play a significant part of your funding. So you're able to view the biographies of the 2024 and 2023 recipients on our website. And I think that's it.
Yep, so timeline, you can get this from our website as well. Just quickly, as I mentioned a couple of times, we have deadlines coming up. So January 15th, deadline for South Africa, Paris, as well as all Science Abroad programs. So that's next week already. For all other programs, our deadline is February 3rd. We are still hosting information sessions for different programs. For instance, India's this afternoon, Germany's this afternoon. Videos will also be available on our website. So please, this is a really important month in terms of, making informed decisions, taking a look at all the opportunities, talking with our fellow student ambassadors, which includes Jesse and Leon through Discord and other formats. This is a time to really try to look at the options and see maybe this year is something that you want to consider, or maybe next year. We also, once you do submit your application, you have February, March to keep an eye on emails for admission notifications. If you are admitted to a program, we do require a $1,000 deposit. March and April is when you pay your fees. You get a lot of emails from us in terms of pre-departure information and that you need to submit. And you also attend a PDO, which is a pre-departure orientation specific for your program. And of course, from May to August is when our programs take off. So it's really amazing. It's really scary how fast time does go by, but we just want to make sure that you are aware of all the deadlines that are coming up. I also want to invite the floor to Nina if there's anything through Rotman Commerce Office that you want to share with students who are considering an international opportunity such as this one.
Sure, and thank you so much to you and your team and Jesse and Leon for a wonderful presentation. There's always something to learn from me. One thing to note for our new students who are in management, the credit that you do earn as the MGT courses, they will be used and can be used to fulfill your business requirement for requirement 15. So that is a handy one for you to apply the credit for. If you do want to do that, you do have to reach out to our office I would be more than happy to support you in creating such exceptions. I think these opportunities are excellent, and it's something to also consider while thinking about progression during your undergrad here. I know that I tend to support students quite heavily for the exchange component, but the beauty with summer abroad is that you don't have to worry at all about transfer credits. And you are in great hands with Wordsworth, and it's a U of T credit, and it's such a great one. So we are in full support and think it's a great opportunity for you to continue with these opportunities. And also for management students, it does apply towards any of the focuses. Well, the two main ones that these courses support you with. Thanks so much.
Great. Yeah. So, well, thanks very much for joining us. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. Thanks very much. And hopefully we'll get to see you in a summer abroad experience soon. Take care.